Well, state senator, 45th legislative district. My real job is what I call it, is education. In 1968, started teaching in the Baltimore City public schools as a history teacher. And irony of ironies, my vice principal was Clarence W. Blount. And the shower attendant at that time, working in the gymnasium, was Clarence Dewburns. And the PTA president was Delegate Hattie Harrison. So people say, wow, you were a school teacher. What piqued your interest in politics? I say those three individuals were right there with me every day. And as a young teacher, graduate at Morgan State, then college, I was a bit of a revolutionary and wanted to change the world. Was very concerned about the educational inequities that I saw at Dunbar High School at that time. Having graduated from Baltimore City College, we did rather well in terms of supplies and books and things of that nature. And in '68, I found myself teaching at Dunbar using secondhand textbooks. Noticed in the science department they were using hand-me-down materials. So got very involved in the teachers union and looking for some equity and parity with respect to funding for education. So I guess in my life it's always been a parallel between politics and education. And one of the things I wanted to do in service in the political arena was to kind of effectuate some change and try to make some things better and give youngsters an opportunity to make meaningful contributions. My mother raised four of us. I have two other brothers and a sister. And the housing projects in East Baltimore, and education was our means of getting out, as we call it, quote unquote, getting out, or getting a decent and a better job, and possibly going to college. And I realized all those. So was brought up with the credo that that's your obligation if you have been successful to reach back and help someone else. So that's always been my passion with education. In fact, one of my primary goals, even before politics, was to be the superintendent of Baltimore City Public Schools, and was in the second doctoral program at Morgan State, then still college, to achieve that end. But got involved in politics. Dewburns appointed me to his city council seat when he got elevated. Clarence Blount, throughout all of those years, encouraged me to stay in politics because that may be a quicker way to effectuate change. So that's what brings me to education and politics. We're doing well. We're doing well. Several years ago, we passed some significant legislation that increased funding for public schools, K-12 in the state. Although, in hindsight, we should have come up with a funding formula for it. Nonetheless, through several governors, we were able to continue that movement and make a significant contribution to education. So much so that for 3 years running now, we have been designated as the #1 public school system in the country. And to be a part of that process really, kind of makes me feel good. It was hard work done by Senator Barbara Hoffman and the late Delegate Howard Pete Rawlings, in really galvanizing the city and other counties to get behind this effort to improve education in the state of Maryland. And I think we're going to discover, or we're already discovering, that was a major investment in our young people. We have to continue to progress, even in this down economic times, find a way to give opportunity to our young people. Many of us are getting up in age, and there has to be a bench available. Every sports team, everybody always has some minor league, some developmental league, some process by which leaders are replaced. And in the real sense, in a larger sense, in the state of Maryland, the continued progress of our state is dependent upon an educated workforce. So we have to develop, we have to look at means by which we continue this progress that we have in Maryland, and make sure that that the best economic development project we can do in this state is educating our children.